against number 8 Maryland to close out 2024. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Xfinity Center. That's Tyler Lackey. I'm Nathan Schwartz. We'll have Alexa Wooten on the sideline. Tyler, top 20 matchup, end of December. It doesn't get much better than this.
No, it doesn't, Nate. I love this time of the year, and both teams off to their best start since 2018. What does that do? It gets you ranked, both teams in the top 20 and looking to climb with the win today.
5 Big Ten teams in that top 20 as well. As we now take a look at the Big Ten standings, it's still early, Tyler, but Maryland and Michigan State in that top 6.
And it's such a big opportunity for both teams today to get that big win, move to 2-0, and issue a real warning to the rest of the conference that you're legit.
Maryland, one of the last 8 unbeaten teams in the country. Michigan State does have a blemish in that loss column. That came in their last game against now number 2. Seconds away from the opening tip here at Xfinity Center, and we're ready for the starting lineups. For Maryland, it's going to be Cheyenne Sellers, Sarah Tibiasu, Kayleen Schmeichel, Sailor Poffenbarger, and Christina Dulce. And for Michigan State, right there in the middle, Julia Ayrault will lead the way both offensively and defensively for this team.
Grace Van Sluten, also such a talented player. These are 2 really, really good teams. This is going to be so much fun.
So much fun. Number 8 against number 19, the last game of the calendar year in 2024 for both of these teams. They'll have games the beginning of January, but here we go. Conference play in full swing in the Big Ten. Maryland will start with the basketball on the opening possession with Tibiasu, the transfer from VCU, has been such a good addition to this team. So many new additions as we have a travel right away, Dulce in the paint.
That's something that can't happen when you've got 2 teams this good, Nate. You have to limit the unforced errors. That means travels, that means poor passes, that means you've got to be where you need to be. And again, such good defenses makes it so hard.
Dulce on the other end blocks the layup from Theron Halleck. Now Sellers bringing it up that left side for Maryland. What a feed inside. Dulce's been all over the place, gets the offensive rebound, triple teamed in the paint, off the front of the rim, rebound by Ayrault. Now Halleck, left wing, Jocelyn Tate. She's going to pop an early triple, and that is cash. Opening bucket for Jocelyn Tate, the senior guard.
We're going to see Michigan State's press here. I would expect both teams to do so early on. You really want to try to make the other team's defense as uncomfortable as possible, especially early in a game like this.
And specifically for Michigan State, one of the best defenses in all of college basketball, coming in 6th in the country, getting 14.5 steals per game. They also force about 26 turnovers per game. Already seen now a couple for Maryland as Poffenbarger and Dulce can't connect under the basket. Driving all the way the other side is Tate. She misses what would have been her second bucket. Dulce quickly the other way with the fast break. 1-on-1 against Ayrault. There is that Michigan State fierce defense yet again, Tyler.
It's a clean block there. That is just so good by Michigan State.
Now Simmons no good with the 3 ball. Fighting along the baseline, it stays with Michigan State. Again for Dulce, tries to go up. A little bit of contact on that right wrist, but no whistle.
Yeah, no whistle, and she had Poffenbarger running with her. I just don't know if she saw her. That may be partially from Dulce just trying to make a play to, I guess, make up for that error on that first possession. But 2 turnovers already. That's not what Maryland wanted.
Great defense by Poffenbarger, but it doesn't matter for Julia Ayrault. Coming in, averaging a little under 17 points per game. She's had double figures in all 11 she's played this season. Kayleen Schmeichel misses a 3 on the other end. Dulce's blocked. Ayrault comes up with it yet again. We're going to be hearing her name a lot today. Van Sluten, guarded by Sellers. Rebound for Poffenbarger. She's going to be all over the glass, too.
Maryland's got to slow this down, Nate. This pace, I think, really favors Michigan State.
Off-ball whistle. That's going to be a foul. An offensive foul on Maryland. Another look at it. It's Sellers on the drive inside.
Sellers is just always trying to get her teammates involved. And right there, she did well to create space for Schmeichel, but the whistle goes on her, the charge. And for Michigan State, again, this game is playing right into their hands. Maryland needs to slow this down, and for Michigan State, you want to keep that tempo up.
Couple of pivots, one too many for Grace Van Sluten, the transfer from Oregon.
It's just a different energy in the building, Nate, once you get into league play. I mean, we've seen so many non-conference games for Maryland this season. Yes, Duke was a big one, but every game just matters so much once you get into the Big Ten, especially now when it's stacked.
Smeichel tries to go coast to coast, is fouled on her way to the glass. Maryland's finally going to have a chance as Smeichel goes to the line for two.
Smeichel has been really, really good from the stripe this season. This is definitely a big aspect of her game, Nate, just being able to get to the line and convert. And she does well there to draw that contact, and she's going to try to give Maryland their first points. She's shooting 82%.
It's good for second on this Maryland team behind Poffenbarger, right around the 90% mark. That's the first point of this game for Maryland. Tyler, it's been a really rough start offensively. Maryland 0 of 5 from the field to begin.
And I think more importantly, 3 turnovers. You cannot just have mistakes against this Michigan State defense. They're too good. They will make you pay every time, and for Maryland, that's something they've got to work on.
Halleck to Tatel on the left wing. Nice spin inside the pivot. The block by Smeichel. This Maryland defense can do what Michigan State's defense has been doing so far in the opening couple minutes. Now here's McDaniel off the bench trying to find the equalizer. Can't do it. Rebound Tate.
Maryland has to make the most of transition opportunities in this game, Nate, as we see a miscue in transition for Michigan State. But the half-court defense is just so good, and when you get an opportunity like this, so the phenomenal play by Smeichel, you've got to make the most of it at the other end. They got a good look from 3, but McDaniel just couldn't hit it.
Maryland still looking for that first field goal. The teams are a combined 2 of 13 from the field in the opening 3 minutes and some change.
Just like we thought from 2 of the best offenses in the league.
Both teams average over 85 points per game, both top 15 in the country. There's another blocking foul, and the Spartans down low.
And there's Kayleen Smeichel. If the team can't make shots from the field, get the ball in number 2's hands and have her drive, Nate, because she's so good at drawing contact, and she's certainly somebody that you can trust from the stripe.
Smeichel leads this Maryland team in points per game, 3-point percentage, and steals. See a few of those numbers right there. First is good for Smeichel. She's responsible for all 3 of Maryland's points from the charity stripe so far in this opening quarter. If you're just joining us, Maryland, one of the 8 remaining undefeated teams in the entire country, coming in at number 8 in the country, as Mira McLean checks in for Smeichel. Michigan State coming off that tough loss, 82-67 to top 20 Alabama 9 days ago. But Tyler, this is something that is going to play into both sides. It's been 9 or 10 days since both of these teams have taken the court, so maybe a little bit of rust early.
Yeah, that little break before conference play starts is always so telling about, you know, what a team can do. How do they make the most of that time, that Christmas break? And so far, both teams, you're right, Nate, kind of sloppy on the offensive end.
That was McDaniel on that last Maryland possession. Now on the other side, too short on that 3 ball for A-Roll. Michigan State does get another chance, though. The skip, the block, Kubek. She came off the bench today. Man, this has been a defensive battle so far in the opening 4. Now Kubek pops a 3 on the other end, and it's money. The first Maryland lead. It's 7-5 off the Kubek 3.
You talk about a spark off the bench, phenomenal defense, and if you're Michigan State, you can't leave her open. I know that she's a big, but she can really let it fly from deep.
Hampton inside. There's a whistle, a foul on McDaniel. But another look at these last couple possessions. Maryland gets the block on the one end from Kubek. She pops it from the top of the key on the other side.
Again, that's something Michigan State just can't have happen. She was the one that forced that turnover, so she makes that pass out, that outlet pass. You can't forget about her, though, Nate, because she's so dangerous from 3. That is defense to offense, as good as it gets off the bench for Allie Kubek.
Kubek coming in only shooting over a little 20% from three-point land this year. Last year, though, over 50%.
Right. And I know this year it's kind of been a cold start, but we've seen in her career that she is dangerous from there. And if you're Michigan State, you can't just look at the number from this year. You have to respect what she's done as a whole throughout her career. And again, that time, so smart by her to take her time up the court, finding that space and knocking it down.
And we're right back to a tie at 7 apiece. You see Cheyenne Sellers is checked back in for Tibiasu. Full court press now for the Spartans. It's up to Schmeichel. Right wing. Screen set by McLean. Now back to Sellers. Terps just 1 of 8 from the field so far. That one field goal was Kubek's 3 on the last offensive possession. Tries to find Poffenbarger cutting into the lane, but it's taken away by Ayrault. 20th steal for her. She's got the 2 on the other side.
She is phenomenal. Again, we talk about defense to offense, and when you have two teams that are so good at both, they just work together so well. And you see a turnover, turning it into points as Ayrault. She's just a special player, the grad student.
Quick foul on that other side by Sotelo, but Ayrault, we're going to say her name on pretty much every single Michigan State possession today. She has been so good in her graduate year for the Spartans.
And that little hesitation move that she just put on McLean, that's what makes her so good, to create that space.
There's another bucket for Maryland to tie things back up in a breeze. 9-all, that's Sellers' first points. Now here's Nyla Hampton, one of the captains on this Spartans team. No Ayrault on the court right now for the Spartans. Van Sluten, baseline, kicks it right side. A little too short for Emma Shoemate from three-point land. As Sellers driving against Hampton. One of the best defenders in the conference. Sellers, the rattle off the back iron and down for the lead.
And that's great defense by Hampton as well. What a tough shot.
Hallett goes up. There is a whistle. The foul on Michigan State.
Sally Kubek making another play, Nate, standing her ground and earning a Maryland possession after the break.
Back and forth we go in the opening 6 minutes. Terps lead 11-9 at the under 5 here to start this crucial conference game here from Xfinity Center. And now we hone in on the coaches for both sides. We'll start with Brenda Frese in her 23rd season at the head of this Maryland program. 650 career wins, Tyler.
And so many of them have come in Big Ten play since Maryland joined this conference in 2014. It really has been her conference, but this is not the same conference she joined, and it's teams like Michigan State that have really stepped up their game and have come to rival Maryland. Today, I mean, you've got a real pick'em between two of the better teams in the country.
And for Robin Freilich on the other side, in just her second season at the helm of the Spartans program, but 33-10, 225 career wins for her. Two of the stronger coaches in the conference, a great conference. Now with the new landscape getting even better, adding 2 top 5 teams in USC and UCLA. Both Maryland and Michigan State will play those 2 West Coast teams in the next coming weeks.
And Freilich is just such a winner. The job that she did at Bowling Green was so great, and what a great hire for the Spartans.
Schmeichel, the triple to the left. Halleck with the rebound. Michigan State looking to get the lead back. Another whistle. This one on the near sideline as Schmeichel dove for the basketball. And the foul is on her.
Yeah, let's take another look at the contact. She's going for the ball, but it's so hard to stop yourself, right? When your momentum is carrying you towards the ball, and the contact there draws the whistle, but good hustle there by Schmeichel to try to make a play.
That's the 3rd Maryland team foul. Hampton's 3 ball is no good. That's out of bounds on Dulcie along the baseline.
And Dulcie's just had an uncharacteristic start to this game. A few turnovers, a few miscues. That's another one, but when she gets going, it is really impressive to watch. She's already got 4 rebounds in this game, Nate. That time she just couldn't keep it in play.
A lot of spread out statistics. Nobody's really taken over yet for either side. The closest one would be Ayrault, who's got another shot. This one too short. There's the 5th rebound for Dulcie, right on cue. Quick pass up top. Sellers to Schmeichel.
That's 2 WNBA players linking up right there. Cheyenne Sellers has some of the best vision in the country. I think that's just non-debatable at this point. Her ability to get those long passes is so good.
Sellers forces that turnover. Smeichel trying to take it herself. She misses. Nyla Hampton again crashing the boards. And another foul, this one on Dulcie.
That's a really tough foul to have if you're a big on the offensive end after a miss. It's not even that she was fighting for a rebound. She's just trying to make a play defensively. And again, when you're in the paint, those 5 fouls are kind of your currency there. And that's a tough one to give up if you're Dulcie.
4 turnovers each in this opening quarter. 4-point lead for Maryland, who's on a 6-0 run in the last 2 minutes. Michigan State desperately needs one to fall. No points in the last 2 minutes and 9 seconds. They're 1 of their last 9 from the field.
They started 2 of 5. So remember, they hit that 3. They walked right down the court and hit it. And since then, just 2 for 13. Great defense by the Terps to cut that down.
Van Sluten, one-on-one against Kubak. Fadeaway mid-range 2. Crashing the boards is Tate. She gets their offensive rebound. Halleck now in the left corner against McLean, who's back in there. Great defense by Maryland's number 10.
Just great defense, something that we've talked about so much for both sides. And for McLean there, it's so important, Nate, because you don't have much help on that side. And she just had to try to make a play, send the ball the other way. Does just that with some physical defense.
Kubak now McLean. Tibiasu back in, a longer 3 ball. Does not get it to fall. And that's Poffenbarger getting the whistle against her. Get another look at it. It's actually on A-Roll. See her right under the basket. It's her first personal. So here's McLean. She'll get 2, misses the first. One of the bigger depth pieces for this Maryland team, the graduate transfer from Virginia. Started her career at UConn. Was former teammates with Poffenbarger and Amari DeBerry on the Maryland bench at UConn before they went their separate ways. Now all 3 back together here at Maryland.
And all 3 have big-time experience. The big games, nothing new for them with that experience for the Huskies.
Van Sluten off the glass, can't get it to fall. Michigan State's offense continuing to struggle. 3 turnovers and no points in the last 3 minutes.
But the defense has really kept them in this game, as expected.
2 of the higher scoring offenses in the country, but the defenses could be reigning supreme today as Poffenbarger is fouled when she's driving in, kicking it out to Tibiasu.
That's the second time here in this first quarter, Nate, that a whistle has knocked out a Maryland corner 3. But for the Terps now in the bonus, you've got to try to make it count from the line. And who better to do so than Saylor Poffenbarger?
89.5% from the charity stripe this season. Good enough for the team lead by about 7%. Talked about Smeichel earlier at 82.
Yeah, 17 for 19 for her from the stripe this season.
And it looks like we're going to have a review on that last foul. Poffenbarger would be going to the line. The foul was called on Jocelyn Tate, who had that early 3 for Michigan State. The only points that have not come from Julia Ayrault on the Spartan side.
And again, at this point for Maryland, you're just trying to get as big of a lead as you can. You're just trying to take advantage of Michigan State having a rough few minutes and Poffenbarger working her way inside. She's let go of the ball before the foul. So is that maybe what they're looking at, or are they looking at maybe an offensive foul on Poffenbarger? Contact undeniable, but again, after that pass and in the paint.
Goes up for debate. You saw the blocking foul signal by the official along the baseline. Poffenbarger, you see the eye. She's looking for Tibiasu in the corner. Had it, but it's the contact right under the basket with Tate. That drew the initial whistle. But is that going to be maybe an elbow, the left elbow of Poffenbarger to the face of Tate? That might be what they're looking at.
And that's a good look of that. You could see the elbow right there from Sailor Poffenbarger in that white sleeve. Here's another look at it. Does that get the face of Tate, maybe? Well, the refs are going to make a decision now.
Big call. And we'll get the answer.
Yeah, you're right, Nate. They were just looking at if there was that elbow, and they're going to say it was incidental. So looks like Poffenbarger's just going to go back to the line and take her 2 free throws, nothing more than that.
And that's when we boiled it down to, that's what it looked like. Poffenbarger driving inside, that left elbow, it wasn't anything crazy. Just when you have to bring your arm up for that pass she was trying to get to for the corner.
Well, Nate, she was in the process of making that pass, and I think that's what the refs decided, that elbow is only in that position because of the pass that was made before the contact. So I think the officials got that one right, and you really understand that look in a tight game like this, a big game like this. You see somebody get an elbow to the face, you kind of want to get to the bottom of it, assess a foul if need be.
That was a rare miss on the first one by Poffenbarger.
Just the third of the year.
Maybe that long delay caused the miss as Aarault goes around the world. Their shoemate now, Van Sluten, driving against Kubek off the glass, whistle and the foul. 14 against 14, Kubek draws her first personal.
She's just trying to get a hand up and get another block, as we saw her do earlier in this game, but that's just a really, really good job by Van Sluten to keep her far enough away that she doesn't get the ball. She gets the arm, and she's headed to the line.
Van Sluten, the transfer from the Pacific Northwest at Oregon. Double figures in all but one game she's played this season. 9th in the conference in field goal percentage.
Shoots a ton of free throws. That's now 76 attempts from the stripe this year. She shoots around 60% from there, but have to give her credit for getting to the line at that volume.
And it's big that she was able to make both. It was about a 4-minute scoring drought for the Spartans. Tibiasu, another triple. This one's good.
That's such a big shot, Nate. I know it's the first quarter, but Michigan State finally gets back onto the board and ends that little drought. You immediately respond with one more point.
And remember, Tibiasu had that 3 that was good in the corner on that long delay with the foul against Tate, against Poffenbarger, who's got the ball now after the turnover by the Spartans. But look for Maryland to get Tibiasu more involved from beyond the arc. So far this year, shooting 42% from 3, averaging a little under 8 points per game. Sellers with 12 to shoot. Man, that's what you've come to expect from Cheyenne Sellers in her 4th year.
And I feel like the biggest critique of her game is, sometimes she doesn't have that killer instinct. Sometimes she is so worried about getting everybody else involved that she doesn't call her own number. Does so there, and that's why everybody's just clamoring, shoot it more. She doesn't miss much.
Michigan State looking to take out as much of this final seconds of the opening quarter as possible. About a half-second difference. Loose ball picked up by McLean. She's got to have a full court heave. It's well short. But what a turnaround, Tyler, for Maryland in the back 5 of that quarter.
In the back 5, how about no main field goals for the Spartans in the last 5:08 of the first quarter? Excellent defense and some shots getting knocked down for the Terps. We've got a lot more.
Great start here in College Park, 20-11, and there's been a lot of great matchups throughout the years between these two teams. And to tell us a little bit more about that, we send it to the 3rd member of our team, Alexa Wooten.
That's right, Nate. Maryland and Michigan State have met a total of 22 times today. Maryland currently holds the series 18-3, and they've really been the dominant foe over their last 8 meetings. Maryland has won 7 games, but it was last year that Michigan State ended that streak with the 74-69 win at home in East Lansing. But now both squads back in College Park. Maryland looking to turn it their way, and Michigan State looking to maybe start a streak of their own.
Thanks, Alexa. And for Michigan State, Tyler, they haven't won in this building since the 2018 season, so it's going to be a big final 30 minutes for them to see if they can get that statement win against the top 10 team on the road.
2018 has really been a year that's come up so much. It's the best starts for both of these teams since the 18-19 season. This is two programs really playing their best ball in a while, and Maryland up by 9, but you better believe the Spartans are such a tough out, but they really need to get going here early in this quarter, Nate.
Michigan State had a rough end to the first quarter. Tries to get a fast start to the second, but the 3 ball is no good from Halleck.
Well, remember, it was a fast start to the first. They had the first 5 points of this game, and since then, Maryland has really taken over.
Travel for Dulcie right at the block. She's had a back and forth opening quarter and some change, Tyler.
6 rebounds, that's fantastic, including 3 on the offensive end. That has been so big, Nate, to get those extra opportunities for the Terps, but that's her second turnover, and she kind of had another one on the defensive end when she had that rebound, and then she dropped it out of play. So I guess not a turnover if she was fighting for the board, but still, for Dulcie, she's just got to work on the little things because the rebounding has been so good.
3 ball converts for Shoemate, the transfer from Ohio State. Big bucket there for MSU as McDaniel has to spin her way out of trouble. Poffenbarger, right wing, 3 ball, you bet.
Maryland has done such a good job, Nate, of responding. Whenever Michigan State takes it down and scores, it seems that the Terps have something to say at the other end.
And McDaniel right under the basket, continuing to be one of the best sparks off the bench Maryland has seen in the last few years. She goes coast to coast and draws the foul.
The shooting on full display here, Nate, in the second quarter for Michigan State. They needed that. And then for Maryland, they've really just always been so great into transition under Brenda Frese. They're not afraid to let it fly from 3 rather than just pushing. And when you've got the shooters that Frese has on this roster, you can really understand why.
So much depth, so much ability to switch in and out. Feels like every opportunity that Brenda Frese has had in this game to make those substitutions, that she's done that. And it started with Kubek and McDaniel coming off of the bench. Big rotation. McLean has seen a bunch of minutes so far. Dulcie's been in and out. As Michigan State works the other side. Continuing to go. Alexa, it's been interesting for both of these teams as they both have a great team work off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Maryland right now is averaging 29 points off the bench a game. They really have so much depth to this team, and Michigan State's not much different. Both teams able to play at least 9 to 7 players a game really makes it for great basketball when you know you can go to anyone on the bench or on the floor.
And again, Alexa, you have a player like McDaniel that was a mainstay in the starting lineup last season, and she's on the bench. That just shows you how good the new recruits have been.
Here is McDaniel. Guarded tightly, nearly loses the dribble. Here's Dulcie. Let's see if she can get her first points. She cannot. That's another travel for her 3rd of the game.
And Brenda Frese is going to have to take her out and just give her a second to take a deep breath. But like I just said, you can do that, Nate, when you have such a good bench, when there's so many players you can trust. If somebody gets into some trouble, there's somebody else on the bench that's just dying for more minutes that can come in and give a break to the starting player.
Simmons, right wing. Tate, Van Sluten. Unable to get the 2 ball. Maryland basketball.
I've just been so impressed by the effort from Jocelyn Tate in this game. It has just been so cool to see her everywhere because it really feels like she never gives up on a possession, and that's another example of her just trying to get an offensive rebound to get her Spartans back into this game. For Maryland to 24-9 run after the Spartans' strong start.
Full court press, Maryland able to evade around it. But now the double teams. This Michigan State defense flying everywhere. Doesn't matter for Smeichel, she gets the bucket, but greater concern for Maryland, it's Kubek in the paint.
That's fantastic from McDaniel, though, to set that up. There was 2 players in green around her, and she was able to somehow get a pass off, and what a great pass it was, and it's good to see Kubek getting up.
Tibiasu will check in for her. Maryland will go a little smaller here. What a job by McDaniel, feeding inside to Smeichel.
And Smeichel, you got to give credit to her as well, just knowing where to be and putting herself into a position to not only score, but to allow McDaniel to get her the ball, because when you're defended that well, Nate, that's not easy to do. Almost feels like it's the receiver of the pass that does all the work.
Halleck knifing into traffic right there for 2. Michigan State down by 10 at this point. It's been a rough go, but offensively for them in this one. Averaging 85.5 points per game, the 13th best mark in the entire country. McDaniel with 5 to shoot, off the glass and 1.
Bree McDaniel has shown us a lot in the last minute or so, Nate, off the bench, and still such an important player. Just because her role has changed doesn't mean that her impact does as well. For her to come off the bench, get that big assist, and now such a confident take. She's never afraid of contact, and she welcomes it there, puts it up and in, and now she's got a chance to make it 3 from the line.
The foul on Halleck, her second personal. Robin Freilich was not a fan of the call right in front of the Michigan State bench, was pretty animated with the officials. But now Michigan State down by 13. This is a crucial point in this game, Tyler. Things could get out of hand pretty quickly if Maryland gets into a groove.
You're right, Nate. It's the largest lead of the game for either team.
Off-ball whistle. McDaniel's down right at the top of the key. Made contact with Aralt.
And when you're such a physical player, Nate, when you play like McDaniel does, it just seems the contact always finds her, whether for good or bad. And that time she gets hit down. And that is going to be contact from Aralt, it looks, trying to set that screen.
Could be another one of those incidental contact situations that we saw earlier. There was the whistle and the foul called on that previously. But McDaniel is tough.
Yeah.
That's happened quite a bit throughout her collegiate career where she's been knocked down, maybe has to come out of the game for a minute or 2, but she's back in there, and right here, she doesn't need a break. She's going to be inbounding the basketball. Smeichel working around the double team. Sellers comes back to the ball. McDaniel right under the basket.
That might be the best press break I've ever seen. I've watched a lot of basketball. I've never seen anything quite like that. And to do it against Michigan State, one of the best defensive teams in the country, that's just ridiculous.
All right, here we go. Smeichel, double team, full court. Sellers, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Catches the ball, goes behind the back, perfectly finding McDaniel in pursuit.
She threw that through Nyla Hampton. I don't know, it's almost like she got the ball to bend to her will. Wow. This building can't believe it. Neither can we.
Phenomenal crowd here for this top 20 matchup as Aralt connects yet again, her 7th and 8th points so far. Terps back up by 13.
The confidence of Cheyenne Sellers and her commitment to make sure that everybody is getting opportunities, and she's got a smile on her face. And it's easy to see why. It's just so much fun to watch her play this game.
A whole lot going on right there. Initially, Nyla Hampton had the block right underneath the basket. And now you hear the boos as the foul is called.
Getting into it, Nate.
So you see the loose ball here. Hampton had the steal on the other side. Smeichel and Hampton both go to the ground.
And you could see early on that hand from Schmeichel. That's before the two players made contact. So a little bit earlier in the play, and I think that's why the fans are so upset.
And the best part about this kind of time of year, Tyler, is every possession means that much more. Every game means that much more. The fans get into it. They know how much these games mean. Now conference play really starting to go, and it's a top 20 matchup.
Again, this crowd has really risen to the occasion. They're making a lot of noise for the Terps, and when you have a player like Cheyenne Sellers, it's easy to give a crowd something to cheer about.
And with conference play comes that extra physicality. We've seen a whole lot of fouls so far. Poffenbarger only with 4 to shoot. Whistling another foul on Maryland.
That might be 3 seconds on Poffenbarger. I don't think that's a foul. I think that's just going to be off ball. Poffenbarger hanging under the basket. She knew the shot clock was running down, and that's one where you just hope it's not called if you're Maryland.
Her second turnover, but what do you know? She's right underneath the net to get the rebound. Sellers blocked.
It's Nyla Hampton redemption for the pass that went right in front of her face the last time.
Hampton, a defensive machine throughout her career, came with Freilich from Bowling Green, or I should say was with Freilich at Bowling Green. She transfers to Ball State last year. Freilich gets her in the portal this year to come to East Lansing. Sellers, long two, a little too strong, but McDaniel in the perfect position. Sellers thinking about it again. Driving through contact and gets it to fall.
This is a different Cheyenne Sellers that we have seen all year long. It's just different. Something about the way that she plays when she get into league play, and that's where it matters most, Nate. That's what you want from your top player.
Halleck, a tough angle, but that's good for number 4.
And I think right now, at least until the media timeout, you get the ball in the hands of number 0 and you let her go to work.
Sellers 6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. She scored in double figures in 7 straight, 9 total. Poffenbarger trying to add to her total. Fouled on the way up.
And Poffenbarger is going to have another long wait, Nate, in between the initial foul and the free throws. But let's enjoy this one last time. One of the best press breaks you'll ever see.
Sellers behind the back. McDaniel finishes it off. Terps up by 13. Michigan State down by 13 with 4:20 to go in the first half. Julia Ayroll and Grace Van Sluten, though, Tyler, a big reason why Michigan State is in this position at 11-1.
Absolutely, and a big reason why you can't count them out. I know Maryland is up big and has all the momentum right now, but when you have players like this on your side, Nate, you can never really be counted out of a game.
And it's not just Van Sluten and Ayroll. Hampton, Simmons, so many players on this Michigan State side can do everything as Poffenbarger goes back to the line.
Again, we saw her miss just her 3rd free throw of 21 attempts earlier because of the long delay in between the initial foul and the shot.
First one good from Poffenbarger. Alexa, that William & Mary game really interesting for Maryland in terms of the free throws.
Yeah, Nate, I mean, Maryland had 50 free throw attempts in that game. They really know how to drive inside, use their size advantage, and draw that contact. And we've seen it so far early in this game, and that can definitely be a strength Maryland can use against a tough Michigan State defense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really whatever you can do, Alexa, to get those extra points. Here's Hampton, stripped away, McDaniel, one-on-one. It's going to be won by McDaniel, but she's going to have to go to the line for even more free throws right on cue.
The Terps have shot 13 already in this game, and she's got Tibiatsu running down the court with her, but for McDaniel, it's just the mentality, it's the way that she plays, that she's only thinking getting to the hoop, no matter the contact that comes.
One of her strengths is going from 0 to 100. You'll see that a whole lot with McDaniel as she approaches double figures. Yet again, if she makes this free throw, she's got it. Bingo. McDaniel now 7 double-figure games this season. He's the first player for either team in this game to get to that mark. As the Terps now go with a little bit more of aggressive man defense. Errant pass, Poffenbarger able to corral it. Taking it herself, little too strong. Hampton picks it up for the Spartans. Fast break opportunity for Michigan State. Here's Jocelyn Tate, she converts.
And if you're Maryland, when you've got a lead like they do right now, you just have to cross your T's and dot your I's, Nate. You can't have mistakes that cost you the lead.
Jump ball called on the court. Poffenbarger was trying to get it away from McDaniel. Possession will go to Michigan State. Excuse me, possession Maryland.
And like I said, Nate, Maryland just has to finish this half strong and take this lead into the locker room. You can't let Michigan go on a run before the break.
15-point lead, one of the biggest so far for Maryland in this game. Another block down low for Nyla Hampton. That's her third. And she only had 4 blocks all of this season coming in. A lot more steals, 29. That's the team lead.
And you use the term defensive machine to describe her, and I think that's definitely accurate. That's why she was brought in by Freilich, who knows her so well, like you said, from their time together at Bowling Green. But if you want to instill a culture of great defense, that's the type of pickup that you want to make. And I'd say it's worked out. I mean, they are a top 10 defense in the country, and I think that's due in large part to players like Hampton and the effort that they have given. And I also think that defense, really good defense at this level, is a result of experience. And when you look at this roster, a few grad students that really lead the way, a few upperclassmen as well that have done such a great job in making Michigan State such a tough team to beat.
There's a kicked ball on that last inbound. They were just making sure at the monitor that that was the right call. So Maryland retains possession. Sellers, baseline, throws it off to Tibiasu, who can't get a grip on it. Another turnover by Maryland.
And that's not really the pass that you want on the inbound, but when time is running out, it's better to try something than just give it to them on the 5 seconds. So smart by Sellers to get that in. Tibiasu just couldn't make the play.
Here's a crucial 3 minutes for the Spartans. It starts off with an A-Ralt 3 and a timeout by Brenda Fries.
And that's such a smart timeout, Nate, to just stop Michigan State right there. Talk about it. It's a quick little 5-0 run by the Spartans, who are feeling pretty good, and they needed a spark. Who else but A-Ralt to knock down a big shot?
Just a 30-second timeout here on Big Ten Plus. A-Ralt, now she's in double figures with 11 points. She's got 5 rebounds as well, coming in averaging 16.6 points, 7.3 rebounds per game for A-Ralt. 10th in the Big Ten in scoring. I could go down the list all day, Tyler, but the impact she has on this Spartans team is substantial.
Yeah, and there's not really a better way to put it than that. I mean, they are going to go as far as she can take them. And so far today, 11 points, she's leading the way, but 4 of 8 from the field. And for her, it seems like she's going to need her best in the second half if the Spartans want to try to get back into this game.
A-Ralt, first team All Big Ten selection last season. Really has the versatility to play anywhere on the court. Played some center last year due to there being a lack of depth in that regard for Michigan State early in the season. And you see her here guarding Kubek down low. Kubek will win this battle, though.
Kubek has had a really good game so far with some big rebounds, a block, and now 5 points, including how big was that first 3, by the way, to give Maryland that lead at 7-4, their first made field goal of the game.
She was injured for a little bit. His comeback makes that quick impact as Tibiasu gets her first personal. That's the 3rd team foul of this second quarter. So Hampton to the line.
And again, Maryland was up 37-20, a huge 17-point lead, and they wanted to keep it around there heading towards the first half break. And instead, Michigan State, you got to give the Spartans credit, showing fight, trying to make their job in the second half easier with a strong close to this opening half.
And we've said it constantly throughout this game so far, but this Michigan State team can go on that run at any point. Things may have gotten away from them for about a 5-minute stretch, but this has been competitive from start to where we are at now.
And that's why I said that Maryland really needs to cross their T's and dot their I's right now, because you're right, Michigan State can go on that run at any time, and if you're Maryland, you really don't want it to come right before the locker room.
How about that from Kubek? That looked like a Maryland turnover all the way. At the very last second, Kubek leaps, throws it back in play, and it's off of Aralt's foot.
It's just intelligent basketball from Allie Kubek, and Cheyenne Sellers was right in front of us, and she shook her head. She said, darn, that's a bad miscue. Kubek saves the day, though, with an exceptional play, and then immediately gives it right back with a foul.
Off ball. Looks like it's on Kubek.
She wants an explanation from the ref on that one. We could hear her from here saying, how?
So now 2 minutes and some change. Michigan State's made their last 3 field goals. Aralt thought about it, pops it, cannot hit it. Poffenbarger, another rebound, her 5th.
And to just take that shot over Kubek is really a display of confidence from Aralt, but if you're going to take a risky shot, you got to knock it down, and now Maryland has an opportunity to grow their lead here late.
Kubek, Tibiasu in the corner. Stepped out of bounds again. The turnovers for Maryland starting to stack late in the second quarter.
But that one I wouldn't fault Tibiasu for. I mean, she had to get up to try to retrieve that pass, and I think you're more worried about catching it than where your feet are landing. She had to back up just to be able to get up to get it.
Hampton driving through traffic, off the glass, off the rim, and in.
That's so good. That's a grad student right there showing the experience with the little hesitation, the change of speed, Nate, throwing the defender kind of off balance.
Sellers slashing to the basket, no good. Dulcie's putback, no good. Taken away by Jocelyn Tate. Here's that Spartan defense we've talked so much about, getting some more opportunities in this second quarter. Reverse layup, no good for Simmons. Now final minute, Terps up by 11.
You really want to keep this lead at double digits if you're the Terps. What a good fight from Freilich and the girls agreeing to end this half. Again, it was a 17-point game and an 8-2 run, the response.
Sellers whistle before the shot. Sellers just 6 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists so far in this opening half.
She's got to fix the headband here. Maryland hasn't scored in over 2 minutes. And Sellers is just going to say, I don't need it to take these 2 free throws.
It's only 34 seconds. And maybe she comes out, a couple of subs imminent for Maryland.
Well, you can't bring Sellers out here because she's got to shoot. First time that we've seen Ava McKinney tonight.
McLean back in there as well.
2 defensive subs.
McKinney, the freshman out of Pennsylvania. First free throw good for Cheyenne Sellers.
Her numbers, again, she just does everything, and it's exactly what you want in your top player, a player who can help you in every aspect of the game.
Sellers trying to set up the defense. And now some confusion. Another foul on Dulcie.
Does that wipe the free throw, that last free throw off the board? When was that foul?
A lot of confusion there.
Because the ball hasn't been brought back in, and remember, Michigan State's in the bonus. Is that foul before the inbound?
So here's Dulcie 15. Maybe a hook of the arm? Unclear.
So they're going to keep 41 on the board. They're just going to give Michigan State 2 free throws. Which at this point, if you're Maryland, that's not really a trade that you would like. You don't want to trade 1 bucket or 1 point for 2. The refs are going to think about this, and the crowd is letting them hear it.
So you see Dulcie.
Hook, yeah.
That's Julianne Woodard, who she's going up against. Maybe a little bit of a hook with that left arm of Woodard, who's now at the line. The officials having the conversation with Brenda Fries. Michigan State wants to sub.
They want to get Sotelo in this game. Maybe to grab a rebound here on this second shot. Unless if she's coming in for the shooter, Woodard.
The first was good, the second good as well. Now we see Sotelo come in for Woodard. 3.6 difference between the shot and game clock. So Maryland will not have the final shot, most likely, of this second quarter and the first half. Looking to make a statement, though, to end the opening half against top 20 Michigan State.
And again, this is certainly the player that you want to hold it here.
Sellers nearly tripped up inside, blocked away. Sotelo. And the defense as Sellers tried to find McKinney. Now just 5 seconds. What will Maryland do here? Sellers to inbound. To McLean. The handoff, Sellers. Crossover. Fadeaway 3. No good. Put back McKinney. Also no good. Tate does not get it off in time before the end of the Sellers, one of them with 10. Bree McDaniel has 11. But Maryland in the last 4 seasons, when leading at the half 68-5, they have a nice 11-point advantage right now. And you see Christina Dulcie right there. 7 rebounds, no points for her. Bit of a rough first half, Tyler, but if she can get going, that will open this Maryland offense even more.
Absolutely. Her finishing down low just has been their 0 for 5. For Maryland, honestly, as a team, I think that they have struggled finishing in and around the basket because, yes, they're going to the line so much, but you think about how many close and ones they missed.
They rolled against Dulcie, a kick out to Simmons, who's been relatively quiet today, but she's going to pick up the quick whistle and head to the line.
Michigan State had to set the tone, Nate, in the second half, and certainly have done their job at least to put themselves into a position here with Simmons headed to the line. And again, this was a 17-point lead really late in that second quarter for Maryland, and Michigan State has just nibbled off a little bit at a time, and that's going to continue. They've gotten it back down to 10, and a free throw here could knock it down to single digits.
Michigan State has just been chipping away. This has been an interesting back and forth, bit of a weird scoring back and forth. As there's Van Sluten chipping even more with another 2. But back to my previous point, it feels like neither team has really gotten into a groove. That speaks to it itself as Dulcie can't get it. It goes off the glass, right back to the Spartans. Van Sluten through contact, but can't get it to rattle home. Tibiasu, right wing.
Maryland's just got to settle down again. Credit to Michigan State. They've certainly done a great job just chipping away. They're on a 13-4 run, Nate.
Sellers travels right there. The spin, she took a step backwards before trying to send it into Schmeichel under the hoop.
And again, I'm sure the message from Coach Robin Freilich was, look, it's all about how you start this second half. If you can chip into the lead as they have, that makes your job so much easier, Nate, if you're Michigan State.
Ayrault too short. Tibiasu right there on the skip. Tibiasu just 1 of 5 from the field. That one field goal a triple. Poffenbarger a 3. Too strong. Rebound by Van Sluten. Halleck. Ayrault shading to the left wing. It's no good. Dulce.
Well, Nate, we saw a frantic pace at the beginning of the first half, and it's the same story here at the start of the second. Both teams just really trying to get going, and they're not really using much time to do so.
Van Sluten off the fast break, charging against Poffenbarger. That's a foul on Maryland's number 6.
And that play right there shows the importance of just a look. Just a look. That's all it takes here for Michigan State, for Van Sluten. Watch her eyes as she's coming down the court. See, she's constantly keeping Ayrault in frame, and that kind of sets up a better path to the hoop for her because it makes Poffenbarger have to worry about the other player as well. She commits the foul and puts Van Sluten to the line.
Yeah, puts Poffenbarger in a tough position.
Right.
She gets caught in between, maybe has to stay in the middle, then really commit to one. She committed to Van Sluten, who misses the second free throw. Poffenbarger nearly strips away, but it will be Ayrault again under the basket. It was Tate and Poffenbarger going back and forth. How about this start to the second half for the Spartans?
All of a sudden, Maryland is starting to get a little bit worried. A timeout quickly here into the third quarter, and that's all Tate. And I said this earlier, Nate, her effort has really, I think, been the best part of her game so far.
An early break here in the third quarter on Big Ten Plus. It's been all Spartans to start this third. 41-35. It's been a 5-0 start to Michigan State's third quarter as we take a pan around the crowd here at Xfinity Center. A lot of fans here today for this top 20 matchup.
And I think they're seeing exactly what they expected, a close matchup. Don't cover your eyes. This is must-see TV here.
This is one where you want to keep your eyes wide open. You got to be locked in on the court at all times. And Maryland's got to really lock in here, Tyler. A rough start to these third quarter as we'll send it down to Alexa with a little bit more on what she learned from Brenda Frese at the half.
Yeah, Nate, at halftime, Coach Frese said really what's going to be key for them keeping their lead heading into the second half was not having unnecessary turnovers. And Maryland's already had it 2 so far, so really need to limit those if they want to keep this lead ahead as they have.
Yeah, and Alexa, we talked about the turnovers so much coming in. If you're Maryland, you need to play mistake-free basketball. That just hasn't been the case today. The Spartans are really taking advantage.
No, Tyler, I mean, you're completely right. Michigan State does such a good job of forcing turnovers and getting those steals and capitalize on the opportunities. We saw right there with Tate's steal against Poffenbarger and the basket after. They really need to limit those in the game.
Thanks, Alexa, as McDaniel trying to go coast to coast, sneaks it underneath to Kubek.
Transition. I think that's where Maryland is at their best, and that's what we've seen in this game. If you're Maryland, how do you break a rut? That's where you look to go. And remember, in the first half, it was the same thing, and it was Kubek in transition who got their first make of the first half as well. So it seems that number 14 is a player that Maryland trusts to get them going.
Van Sluten picks up a foul right there.
Michigan State foul on number 14 and Grace Van Sluten. That's her second.
Second personal against her. It's the first foul of the quarter for Michigan State.
And even when Maryland was up 17, Nate, the game didn't have a feel that they were up 17, right? When you've got Michigan State at the other end, it didn't feel like that was enough to start to get comfortable for Maryland, and I think that they were right to be weary. Michigan State's here to play.
Tate comes up with the basketball, stripping it away, and Sotelo finishes it off. Her first points.
We just talked about the importance of mistake-free basketball, and Maryland's worries continue in that department. Michael open near side.
Sellers travels again. Second time in the quarter for her.
And again, that's just frustrating. As I said, you could see Schmeichel guarantee that that's where Sellers wanted to get the ball to. She had to step out of her pivot, though, due to that great defense. Michigan State is starting to kind of get the hang of what Maryland is doing, but 16 turnovers, that's not going to do you any favors.
Halleck had Simmons open in the corner, but decides to take it herself. Back to a 4-point game here at Xfinity Center. Spartans on a 9-2 run to begin the quarter. Terps could really use a bucket on this possession. Here's Poffenbarger. Bounce pass inside. That is just beautiful to Schmeichel.
There's your bucket. Sellers isn't the only one with the great vision. The Maryland team, it's something that Coach Freeze really stresses.
Halleck, Ayrault, Simmons, left wing, short. Poffenbarger, another board.
That's such a great rebound, too, for Poffenbarger. That ball was moving away from her, and she boxed out, made the play.
Schmeichel from the corner. She hasn't been able to hit from three just yet. Came in shooting about 48% from beyond the arc. Only a matter of time, you got to imagine, before she gets her first. Schmeichel catches Michigan State sleeping and gets it to fall for two.
And that is a deceptively tough finish. When you hear those footsteps bearing down on you down the court, you've really got to keep your poise and make sure you do the little things right. A great job by Schmeichel to keep her cool and make that big-time layup.
Another bucket for Michigan State. Alexa Sellers with another great pass as that one goes out on Michigan State, but she's been so good just facilitating this year.
Yeah, that one not long enough on the pass, but regardless, her ability to facilitate, she leads the team in assists, and really that's what got this Maryland team going early in this game. They struggled to score. Cheyenne Sellers came in, a veteran on this team, has a great IQ on the floor, and she really just got them going in this game.
And Alexa, I think that really starts with her confidence.
Tyler, I couldn't agree more. I think she is such a confident player. She's so fun to play with. You can see it on the floor, how much they love all playing together. And I think Sellers really starts that chemistry.
She sure does, Alexa. 4 assists for her today. That last bucket for Schmeichel. The response, though, for the Spartans with Halleck.
How about Halleck here in the second half, announcing her presence with a huge three? And that's what we're talking about. If you're Michigan State, you can't let Maryland get too far ahead. They already did that. They found out the hard way. They had to work their way back into this game, and have a 3 as a response to a 2. You're okay with that at this point in the game if you're the Spartans.
11 points now for Halleck. 9th time she's reached double figures this season as we've reached the under 5 timeout here in College Park. Man, we have got a great one between number 8 Maryland and number 19 Michigan State.
And for Maryland, they weathered that early storm, Nate. They did so well to really take back some lead.
Just a 5-point game with 4:34 to go in the third. Stick with us here from the 5-point deficit for Michigan State. And how about what we've seen from Cheyenne Sellers so far today, Tyler?
Again, you just think about where Maryland would be if not for number 0. I can't see this pass enough. Behind the back, no look. But again, she's scoring as well with 10 points. She's really done it all. She's rebounding well, and she's really just setting the tone, setting the pace, and her confidence is carrying Maryland to their 5-point advantage.
An advantage that they're barely able to keep right now. The Spartans just seemingly keep on calling back whenever Maryland is able to get a bucket.
But Maryland has done things well, especially these last few minutes. They made 4 of their last 5 shots, but that just shows how good Michigan State is. I'd love to just fly on the wall, hear the conversation here between Halleck and Sellers. Both have really led the way for their teams here in half number 2.
Halleck with 11 points, Sellers with 10. Both have had a couple of great assists as well as McDaniel rims out on that first free throw.
And again, that's that conversation right there. That's what you love to see, the sportsmanship, the respect between these two teams here as we start off league play, or at least start exclusive league play. I know both teams have already won their first matchup in Big Ten play with big wins over Iowa and Purdue, but gotta think this one would be bigger for both.
Hampton back in there. She gives it to Ayrault, who spins but can't get it to go. But it's Hampton right there again. Ayrault will try again from the corner. Once again, it's short.
It's Sally Kubek's just second rebound in this game, but again, that's a big spot for it to come.
Schmeichel to Kubek. She thought about it. Bounces it right wing to McDaniel.
And again, to have that poise to set yourself up, take that shot, but know there's other options. So smart from Kubek. I've really been impressed by her IQ on display in this game.
Just 4 to shoot for McDaniel. She's in no man's land, just heaves up a 3. That was a prayer that was never going to be answered. Just a really tough shot for Bree McDaniel. Halleck has a good look on the other side. It's no good. Poffenbarger to the ground to get that one, just throws it away, but Kubek luckily is in the right position.
Maryland's got to get this over half court.
Barely get it.
How in the world did that work?
I have no idea.
Ground, you've barely even got possession, and you just fling it down the court, and that's Ali Kubek again, right place, right time for Maryland.
McDaniel with under 5 to shoot. Taken away by Arold as Kubek went up for it. Halleck, fast break, 1-on-2, did not have the numbers, but she's fouled on her way up.
And Kubek is just so frustrated that she didn't get the call at the other end, but Halleck does. Again, she really has come alive here in this second half.
So we'll start with the steal. Arold was in there, Simmons was in there, the pass all the way up to Halleck.
I think it was Hammond, though, who got that crucial touch. Knock it out of the hands of Kubek.
There will be 2 free throws for Halleck.
And this is interesting. They're checking Sailor Poffenbarger's jersey. Is it a blood issue? Is it maybe on the elbow there? I see a speck of red. So I think she has to come out. Get that looked at. Yeah, I could see there on the bench. They have to clean up the blood that is on the elbow. Well, remember, it was Poffenbarger who it always seemed that, game would stop before she takes free throws. Now she's the reason, but it's somebody else. It's Halleck who has to wait it out.
Alexa, what do you have for us?
Yeah, guys, on that last rebound from Poffenbarger, when she fell to the ground, she actually cut her shirt, causing her to bleed on the elbow. They thought there was some blood on the jersey. You're not allowed to play with blood on the jersey, so they just had to make sure they clean that up for her to resume play on the floor.
Yep, just as I thought, Nathan. I saw that little speck of red. It was tough to tell what that was from this far across. I thought maybe it was just a rip, but it's a good call by the refs to get that sorted, and also to let her just go and get that taken care of. It's nice and quick. They didn't need to sub her out.
Poffenbarger rolls with those long sleeves. Bit of an untraditional look at this landscape of college basketball.
But I appreciate Alexa verifying that. She's definitely got a better view of it than us. We couldn't be further.
And we only saw the spec.
Right.
Didn't have those.
I made an educated guess.
Yeah, up close and personal views. That was Sellers looking for Poffenbarger, who was probably going to take a 3 right in front of her own bench. Instead, it's Michigan State getting it taken away. Tate went just a little too quick along that left side.
And that's kind of what you get out of Tate. The good from it is her motor is unparalleled, and it's led to so much for Michigan State, whether that is second chance points, whether that be steals, big rebounds, you name it. But sometimes she's going a little bit too quick for her own good. Like that time, the ball just slips out of her hands.
McDaniel, ball fake, finds Schmeichel top of the key. Down to 12 to shoot. McDaniel through a triple team, back to Poffenbarger, wide open, and she gets it.
That's a huge shot. Just when it feels like Michigan State is going to cut it down to a one-possession game, Poffenbarger steps up, knocks down a clutch 3.
Through traffic for Halleck, that's no good. Terps have a little bit more momentum now, as the Spartans have not made a field goal in the last 3 minutes.
I still think if you're Maryland, you really want to take your time and get the right shot here.
Kubek with the left, yes.
And that's the right shot. Ali Kubek has been sensational in this game. She's got 9 points, just 2 rebounds, but the scoring has really been huge for Maryland.
Now Michigan State feels out of rhythm. They're now going a little too fast. Poffenbarger, so close. Would have been another highlight reel play, but that one sure is for Schmeichel.
Timeout for the Spartans. How about the give and go from Sellers and Poffenbarger. No, it didn't result in a bucket, but again, it's just smart basketball, and that's what you get out of Cheyenne Sellers.
Started with that Poffenbarger three, wide open. Kubek with the left. That second of three, and Schmeichel, the finisher, off that miss by Poffenbarger.
It was 50-46, and Michigan State's bringing it down the court, and Nate, that felt like the opportunity, but it's a miscue from Tate. The ball just falls out of her hand, and Maryland capitalizes with the 7-0 run. And we've talked about it all game long, Nate, about minimizing turnovers. Neither team has done that, but what Maryland has done here is they've made the most out of a key mistake by the Spartans.
Tyler, you said it a minute ago. This was 50-46. Michigan State had a chance to make it a 1-point game. All of a sudden, Terps back up by 11. This felt like that crucial stretch where Michigan State needed to at least get it within one or try and take the lead.
And as soon as Saylor Poffenbarger hit that three to start the run after the turnover, I said that was a big shot, and it was. That was the spark for Maryland, and after the timeout, let's see if the Terps can keep it going. But Freilich has done such a good job in this game, Nate, out of timeouts, keeping the Spartans in games.
A-roll to Van Sluten. She gets her own rebound. Poffenbarger with tight defense. Whistle in the corner. Maryland gets possession.
Ali Kubek. She's been so good in this game. Good hustle from her to get to that ball and keep it for Maryland. 4 of 5 from the field is Kubek. She's been very efficient. Great hustle for her, and she's had a lot of really smart plays that have had a real impact in this game.
Maryland got possession because of the foul by Emma Shoemate along the sideline. Now under a minute to go in this third quarter.
And when Maryland has momentum, the crowd gives them just that much more of a boost.
McDaniel, ball fake, hands it off to Sellers. Now just 10 to shoot for Maryland.
Popcorn ready.
The crowd counting it down with 4. Sellers through traffic off the left side of the glass. Michigan State driving quickly. The speed for Simmons, it's good. Now the Terps can hold out for the final shot of the quarter. It's been a back and forth quarter. 18 points for the Spartans, 16 for Maryland. Best quarter that we've seen from Robin Freilich's squad today. Now just 9 seconds. Kubek to Tibiasu. Tibiasu, step back. Poffenbarger with just 2 seconds, heaves it up. Air ball, no good for Saylor Poffenbarger, but what a quarter, Tyler.
What a quarter, Nate. Is this fun? I'm having some fun, and we knew coming in.
The Xfinity Center alongside Tyler Lochte. I'm Nathan Schwartz. The trend in this game has been its back and forth nature, and Alexa Luton's on the sideline with more.
Nate, you're completely right. Michigan State coming out of halftime, able to kind of go on a run of their own, forcing multiple turnovers against Maryland, actually shortening the difference to 50-46. Maryland only leading by 4, but the Terrapins responded right back with their own 7-0 run, extending that lead 57-46. And right now, really what they need to do is just limit their turnovers and continue to play good offensive basketball.
Yeah, absolutely, Alexa. And Michigan State is 1 of their last 8 from the field. The defense of Maryland really strong at the end of that quarter.
Both defenses living up to the billing here today, and the final game of 2024 for both of these teams. A crucial conference matchup. Poffenbarger having some trouble finding a teammate to throw the ball to. That's a 5-second violation on the inbound to begin the quarter.
And I mean, we have the best angle of that possible. You're looking around the court with her to kind of see, all right, who's going to get open? I don't envy that job at all.
Yeah, we were
insane.
blocked by the 10 minutes on the score bug there at the bottom of your screen as Simmons is fouled by Poffenbarger.
That's her second, so no need for major concern yet, but if she gets another one, I wouldn't be surprised if Brenda Fries takes her out.
Well, that's the interesting thing, Tyler. Poffenbarger now with 2. That is make it 7 Maryland players with just 2 personal fouls.
But I still think that you would rather have those fouls spread out, than have one of your key players in real danger of leaving this game.
Meanwhile, on Michigan State side, Simmons and Halleck both have 3. Van Sluten, Ayrault, and Sotelo each have 2 apiece. Nothing crazy in terms of foul trouble yet, even though it's been a pretty physical game.
But for Maryland to start with the ball and for Michigan State to get 2 in 7 seconds, I'd say that's a good start. That's a win in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty much a free bucket right there for Michigan State coming out of that quarter break.
I mean, if you're Michigan State, you're coming in, you're trying to get a defensive stop. That's your focus. Maryland just gives you the ball and a chance to cut the lead.
Schmeichel off balance, baseline drive, no whistle. It's brought up by Shoemate now with Ayrault. 1-on-2, the Euro attempt, and the foul on Tibiasu.
That's her 3rd.
What a start by Michigan State. This is the same way that the Spartans started the 3rd quarter as well, just coming out with a lot of intensity both on offense and defense.
And how they started the game, remember a 5-0 run. Those are the first 5 points, and Tibiasu's going to come out. Sellers back in. I think Brenda Fries was just trying to give her a quick blow.
Ayrault at the line. First one, she sinks it. Down to a 6-point contest here in College Park.
And I think so much credit has to go to Freilich, right, for keeping her team focused, for keeping them, confident. And in this game, it was up to 17 points. Maryland keeps going on runs, and Michigan State keeps finding an answer to keep it close. I have a feeling it's going to be close for the rest of the way.
Kubek, the pivot. Sellers is wide open from the wing, right in front of her own bench, but she can't get it to fall. Into the hands of Tate. Now top of the key, Ayrault has some space, does not have the 3.
How big of a shot would that have been? But for Michigan State to keep this alive, ginormous.
Fresh 20, Ayrault travels. There was a lot of open area there for Michigan State to work with. Van Sluten had it off of the rebound, but Ayrault, the miscue, driving baseline.
Like I keep saying, Nate, Maryland's just got to cross their T's and dot their I's. It was true when they had a big lead. It's true now when it's close.
Both teams have to do the little things right in the final minutes of this contest. Remember, just a 5-point game. Top 20 matchup. Second Big Ten game for both sides. And there's a foul on Tate.
And that's double damage because Kubek's trying to draw a foul there. And that's why her arms are flinging up in the air. But she whacks Cheyenne Sellers in the face here as Sellers is coming around. Take a look. She's selling it. That's not that her hands are in that position because of the push. She's trying to get the whistle and inadvertently knocks her teammate right in the noggin.
Double trouble. Tate had a smile on her face.
Well, she didn't even intend that.
And now Sellers. 6 to shoot. Contact, a whistle, no shot. Tate, back-to-back fouls. That's big for Michigan State.
Yeah, but she's up to 3 in a hurry, Nate.
She joins Simmons and Halleck with 3 fouls apiece. And we just said about a minute or two ago that neither team really had to worry about foul trouble, but now the Spartans are approaching having to worry about Simmons, Halleck, and Tate.
And there's still 8 minutes to play, and this has been a really physical game. It's certainly something to keep an eye on.
Halleck and Ayrault both off the court for Michigan State on this possession. McDaniel with the double dribble. Too many ball fakes for number 24.
And you've got to be really late with that last dribble before you step back. I think it was just too much pause for the refs. They get the whistle and another empty possession for Maryland.
Simmons hands off to Tate. Great ball movement, but the shot cannot be made by Shoemate. Sotelo with the board, the freshman.
How many offensive rebounds has Michigan State had? They just aren't turning them into points here so far in the 4th.
Whoa, a lot of contact, a big thump. It was McDaniel for Maryland, Van Sluten for Michigan State. McDaniel was banged up right on that Big Ten logo. And that'll bring the medical trainers out for Maryland. Let's take another look.
Just a hard crash here for McDaniel right onto the side of her back. And you have to give her a lot of credit for, again, getting into the middle of things and trying to make a play, and she's still on the ground. And look, it's called the hardwood for a reason. You never want to see a player fall like that down onto the floor.
Yeah.
We're going to step away as McDaniel is getting helped from the trainers.
We'll take a short. McDaniel still banged up. You could hear the crowd cheer her on as she gets back up. We'll take a quick break here on Big Ten Plus. Welcome back. Ree McDaniel able to walk off under her own power. She's at the end of the bench right now getting attended to. Hope the best for her. There's a quick inbound by Michigan State. Offensive rebound by Simmons. The Spartans continue to just dominate the offensive glass. But a turnover potentially right here. The shot clock will run down to 0. Just a tumultuous possession right there for Michigan State's offense. Had the shot chance. Halleck back in there. She was wide open at the top of the key, but the pass from underneath the rim just too strong. Halleck just had to throw a full court heave to try and get that shot off. She did not.
On the side of the court that Michigan State is attacking so far, Nate, in this quarter, Michigan State has grabbed every rebound. It's been turnovers that have given Maryland the ball the other way.
Just a dominant defensive and offensive quarter for Michigan State as Dulcie passes it off to Kubek. Cannot connect on the 3 ball. Sotelo, left corner, double teamed. Whistle and a foul.
It's number 3 on Sailor Poffenbarger, and now you start to worry about that if you're Brenda Fries. Well, that looked to be on Sellers. They're going to change that now in the notes.
Left hand good for Jocelyn Tate.
But that's Sellers' third.
Right. For both teams not having to worry about the fouls at the beginning of the quarter, that really has changed in these last 3 minutes. And now just a 1-possession game here from Xfinity Center. Schmeichel just gives it away. Tate all the way up to Halleck, but Sellers is right there with some great defense.
Sellers is coming out next whistle. Tebiasu's going to take her because she's got 3 fouls. So this is a really important next few minutes in this game.
Can Michigan State tie it up right here? Halleck, you bet! Theron Halleck ties things up at 57 with 6 to go.
And I know it's just a 5-0 run right there for Michigan State. But what a big shot. Their bench is fired up. Everybody's standing in green.
Poffenbarger all the way across the court to the right corner, and Sellers under 10 to shoot. Michigan State with stifling defense. Step back from Poffenbarger. Rebound Van Sluten. The Spartans have a chance to take the lead for the first time since the opening quarter.
I don't know if you could sub Sellers out at this point. I know she's got 3 fouls. Let's see what Brenda Fries does. Tebiasu's still standing in midcourt.
That was an off-ball foul against Michigan State. We'll take another look at Halleck's 3 ball. Rather the 2 ball inside. Here is that 3 from Halleck. No, excuse me, that's again the whistle on Van Sluten.
So it's Sellers to stay on, and they're just going to take Ali Kubek out and trust Poffenbarger and Dulcie down low.
DiBiase to Sellers, right wing. Screen set by Dulce.
Somebody's got to step up and make a shot.
Back
at
to
this one.
Poffenbarger. She's wide open. There it is. Poffenbarger for 3. And she's into double figures.
Well, what did I say? Somebody's got to step up. You can't give number 6 room.
Halleck tries the quick response. And there's a push out. Michigan State will not get the basketball. And that's how we go into the under 5 timeout. Oh man, we can all breathe now, Tyler.
Just a pair of ginormous shots. The ball fake is so good from Poffenbarger. Stick with them.
Back to the Xfinity Center, a 3-point game in this top 20 matchup between Maryland and Michigan State. The Spartans have come all the way back. Theron Halleck, a huge reason why.
She has just been phenomenal in the second half. I've been so impressed with her ability to just make shots. 12 of her 16 have come after that halftime break, including a huge one to tie the game at 57 before Poffenbarger took it the other way and responded with the 3 of her own. This is just awesome basketball.
This is one of the games of the year, no doubt. Maryland had a double-digit lead for a majority of this game.
Got it up to 17, Nate.
Right, but even in this fourth quarter, it's been Maryland maybe makes a little bit of a move, but Michigan State continues to just claw back possession after possession. Now with less than 5 minutes to go, one team is going to have to take over.
Every possession at this point just matters so much, not just in this game, but in the Big Ten season.
Sellers finds McDaniel right in front of the bench for 3. Perfection right there by Cheyenne Sellers on the assist. And the quick response, who else but Halleck?
14 for her now in the second half. Just unreal how she has come alive for this Michigan State team.
Miscue right there by McDaniel looking for Dulce. McDaniel, the triple, so pure, wide open she was. Look at how much space is there between her and Aralt.
And the pass from Sellers, that's now 6 assists. She's got 6 rebounds as well.
Aralt blocked initially by Dulce, but she gets the offensive rebound and cuts the deficit down to 2. Aralt also with a double-double. 13 rebounds, 17 points for her. Poffenbarger, a really long 3. That's no good. Maybe a quick shot right there, Tyler?
A heat check, I guess. And again, you've got to just be so smart. Like I said, every possession is vital from this point on. And you can't have a possession end where you feel like you could have done something better.
Halleck at the right wing. Spartans can take the lead back on this possession or at least tie it up. Here's Jocelyn Tate. Right wing for Halleck, who thought about a 3. Spinning, weaving her way through traffic. It's Sotelo, the freshman, tried to go for the lead, didn't get it. Tate under the basket, out to Halleck. Fadeaway triple, no good. Poffenbarger able to get it underneath. DiBiase looking for Poffenbarger, taken away by Simmons, who got back with quick defense.
But she steps out. It's going to stay with Maryland. But again, for DiBiase there, she's got to be frustrated that she didn't find Poffenbarger with space on the near side.
3-minute mark in the fourth quarter. Terps up by 2. Poffenbarger trying to add, and she does. The bench loves it. Terps up by 4. Tate blocked by Dulce. Out to Halleck for 3. Yes! Are you kidding me? Back and forth again. Was it a 3 or a long 2? They're going to give her the 3-pointer. 65-64.
Well, the stat broadcast says it's a 3, and all of the scoreboards in the stadium say that's a 2. I think this is going to be a 2. Let's see that foot. Does she get it back in time? Oh, that's right on the line. I don't know if there's enough to change the call. The call on the court is a 2.
Here, this might be the best look at it. Left foot behind the right. That's tough to tell.
I don't know if there's enough to change it, though. That's the question. And the refs aren't even going to review it. They're just going to keep it at 2, and I think from that angle, you know, you kind of got to live with that. And how important could that point be as we go down the line here in this game?
Absolutely crucial. So it will be 65-63.
Right.
Maryland lead. And you saw the timeout there by Freilich. Whew.
We expected a great ball game. We've gotten a great ball game. And again, you just have to give so much credit to Freilich and to Freeze. 2 phenomenal coaches just having their teams trade blows here in this game. For Maryland, whenever it seems like they're on a run, they're going to put the game away. Michigan State.
It's been intense, physical, defensive, offensive at times. 65-63.
It has it all, and for Michigan State, they're not shying away from the press at this point, even though Maryland's been so good in transition. I think that's a case, Nate, of just staying with what you believe in, staying with what has won you 11 of 12.
Just 10 to shoot for Maryland. Tibiasu bounces it to Poffenbarger. Finds McDaniel. Loses it on the ground. Has to throw it up. Shot clock violation on Maryland. Huge stand by the Michigan State defense.
How good has Michigan State been out of timeouts? I think that has really been the story of the game, because if they can't immediately respond, Nate, the lead just grows and grows. And for Freilich to have her team just constantly able to play their best ball after she meets with them, I think that says a lot about their coach.
Both coaches had their teams well prepared. And for 2 teams that haven't played in 9 or 10 days, this has been such a treat to watch, coming off the holiday break. Halleck with 20 points, cannot get up to 22. There's the 10th rebound for Dulcie.
It's almost like this game is that present you didn't see at first under the tree. It's a little surprise, a little bonus. What a great way to close out the year.
This is the one you have to go on a scavenger hunt for. It's
Gotta
in the
go
garage.
Get it. Let's see who's going to go get this one.
Sellers stripped away by Simmons. Michigan State, fast break. The travel by Tate. Costly miscue. Freilich can't believe it.
And in that situation, I don't know what you could do differently, right? You get the ball and you're just trying to make something happen in transition, and that's Tate again going too fast for her own good. And we've talked about how that can be, you know, the reason why she's on the court so much, the reason why Michigan State's hanging around is that hustle, that effort, that motor, but there's times where she just goes a little bit too fast. She doesn't have an ability to slow things down, and it costs the Spartans there.
Tibiasu dancing, looking for a passing lane, had it for Schmeichel. Now the ball's loose, jump ball called.
It's going to stay with Maryland, and that's Dulcie's biggest play of the game. To hustle, get back on it, and keep the ball at this end.
Huge for Dulcie.
No points, but 10 rebounds for her, and again, this is her most important contribution. She had to get around a defender to get to that ball.
Quick bucket and the foul! Kayleen Schmeichel off the assist by Tibiasu.
Only 9 on the shot clock. You need something quick, and for Maryland, it's in an instant. Schmeichel open, calls, and scores. Plus the harm, the bench loves it. That's a big-time play from a big-time player. And Kayleen Smeichel leads the way for Maryland with 18 points. She's doing it again, honing in on 20.
Crucial free throw right here for Kayleen Smeichel. Rattles in. 5-point lead for Maryland. 2-possession game with 67 seconds to go.
And that's got to be so demoralizing, Nate. If you're Michigan State, you think you got the stop, but Dulcie keeps it alive. Maryland scores.
Arault to the left wing. Here's Simmons taking a three from the top of the key. Bingo! Back down to 2.
Michigan State just doesn't have an off switch. They never, ever quit. Unbelievable that they've just been able to respond every time Maryland has a big play.
Down to 40 seconds. Both teams have 2 timeouts if they want to use them. Wide open is Dulcie. That's her first points of the game, and it puts Maryland up by 4.
And it's the ball fake by Sellers. She is unbelievable. Faking to the hot hand of Poffenbarger and giving it in for Dulcie, who breaks her run.
So here's that sequence. Tate to Simmons, wide open to bring it within a 2-point game. Michigan State thinks they have a chance, but Cheyenne Sellers says not today.
And you can see it really quick. Sellers pumps, looks Poffenbarger's way, gets it inside for Dulcie. It hasn't really been her day, but Nate, she's been the one to step up late. She got the jump ball that led to that huge Smeichel and 1, and now she gets the bucket to put Maryland up by 4. You have to give Dulcie so much credit. She's rebounded so well in this game. She's grabbed 10 of them, and she hasn't been disheartened. She was 0 for 5 from the field before that last layup. She gets it to go when it matters most. What a sensational basketball game we've got on our hands here.
Sensational might be an understatement. This has been such a joy to watch. Michigan State got off to that great start in the first quarter. Maryland took over, had an 11-point lead going into the halftime break. Michigan State has been playing so good in this second half. Has out 26-29 in this second half, but still trail by 4. They can bring it within 1 possession right here. Halleck, guarded by McDaniel. We're down to 31 seconds to play. Halleck, the double team. Dulcie comes up huge yet again.
It's been Dulcie to end this game, and a smart timeout by Brenda Fries because Dulcie was kind of wrapped up there. And also, Brenda Fries didn't want Dulcie to be the one that gets fouled. Remember, Maryland's in the bonus, so the next foul will send the Terps to the line. Brenda Fries, Nate, by calling a timeout here, allows her to draw up who she wants to get the ball and send to the line. And Cheyenne Sellers just fired up after Christina Dulcie's been the story to end this game.
And what a turnaround. 10 rebounds for her. She had a bunch of travels in the first half, 3 turnovers to her name, 2 personal fouls. That huge bucket on that feed from Sellers a few seconds ago. Then gets that big step on the other side as you look at the numbers for Sellers.
And Sellers set that up with that little ball fake. She was looking for Poffenbarger. And again, now Maryland can get it in and choose who they want to be fouled. I think that's...
Terps going around the world. Tibiasu is the one that will head to the line.
Well, I was about to say, I think that's the right choice to give it into Sellers, but Sellers was able to burn some more clock, Nate, by passing that off again. Now it's going to be Tibiasu who will head to the line, and she has been sensational there. 83%, Nate, but she's only attempted 6, which kind of surprises me.
Not the player that will take it to the rack all the time. More of a perimeter player, a facilitator, as well as Sellers. First one is nothing but net. And you could hear a pin drop when she's at the line. This crowd wants no distractions.
This is a big one to go up by 6.
They wave it off.
I think that's Kayleen Smeichel who stepped in. It's a big call because if you're Michigan State, you get the benefit of a missed free throw without the loss of time.
Right.
So Michigan State could just inbound this. It's Sailor.
It's Poffenbarger.
You're right. Sailor Poffenbarger stepped in.
So Michigan State's got to hurry. Less than 20 seconds, down by 5. Halleck to Aralt in the corner. With 15 seconds to go in the game, denied yet again by this Maryland defense. Tate has to foul Sellers, and that might just wrap things up if Maryland can connect on these free throws.
And you've got your leader at the line, and she has kind of been able in this fourth quarter, Nate, to take a step back and let her teammates be the ones to close it. And now she gets a chance to do it herself. 2 made free throws. This game's as good as over.
First one is no good for Sellers.
And she's got to take her time, Nate. As soon as she received it, she threw it right up.
Just to put it within 2 threes. There it is. Timeout for Robin Freilich and Michigan State. The final one for the Spartans. They'll meet up trailing by 6 points with just 11 seconds to go. It's going to take a couple of quick threes.
They've shot a lot of them. 23 attempts tonight from beyond the arc for Michigan State. They've made just 6. And you're right, they're going to need 2 because I don't think there's enough time to shoot anything inside the arc. And you wonder now, does Maryland just foul?
They might.
I mean, I know it's not, when you're up by 3, you always foul, but you're up by 6, and right now, you're going to trade free throw attempts, I think, if you're Maryland. You don't foul right away. You let them bring it down the court, but.
Well, that's the dangerous game you play. You know Michigan State is going to want to take a 3. Maryland, if you're a little too aggressive defensively, could, in theory, foul on a 3-point shot attempt. That could set up a 4-point play and really change the dynamic.
Yeah, I think now, if you're Maryland, you let them go, and if they make a 3, that's when you foul.
Right. This could be a long 11 seconds if Maryland does choose to foul right away, though. We'll see how it plays out. It'll be Jocelyn Tate to inbound. Halleck, who's been so good, sends it to the corner. Here's Tate from the left wing. The high arcing shot, no good. Still up in the air. Less than 2 seconds to go. The final horn sounds, and Maryland survives. One of the best games of the season results in a 6-point Terps win.
Survives, I think, is the right word, and that's so much credit to Michigan State, who were down by 17 points at one point here, and for Maryland, they were just able to hold them off, and such a well-played game. This is 2 of the best teams in the conference, that's for sure.
There's a reason why Maryland is number 8.